Dead No More. Patient Zero. Chapter 19. What Happened to the Rabbit? Yes, you no longer age. You are in fact immortal, said Eli. Most people would consider that information to be great. I'm not most people. I considered the implications, calculated the permutations, weighed the pros and cons, and it sucked. In fact, Doc, your cells regenerate at an alarming rate, said Eli. With your permission, I'd like to try something. I nodded, and Eli picked up a needle and pressed it against my forearm. It bent as he applied pressure. He then picked up a scalpel, and again it bent against my skin. He then picked up a nano-tipped scalpel and with effort sliced my arm as it healed even before he could move the scalpel away. "How cool is that?" exclaimed Eli. "Cool! Cool! This is not cool!" I yelled as Eli began to back away. I immediately replayed that scenario with my stepfather from oh so long ago. But now I was the brute threatening another. I breathed in deeply and calmed myself. This wasn't Eli's fault. "I'm sorry," I raised my voice. I said in a calmer tone. "But Eli, this is far from cool. Doc, you have what man has strived after for millennia," he said. "To never age and live forever. Immorphreaking-tality. Eli, you're 17. What happens when you're 27? How about 37? Or maybe even 47 or 57? Will you live to see 67 in this day and age?" I asked. A part of the wonder of life is not being able to predict it. Life is precious because it is uncertain, undetermined, and not promised. I shook my head as I remembered that although he has the intellect, it is not tempered with wisdom, pain, and loss. In many ways, he's just a 17-year-old kid. Years. It's funny, that word used to hold such reverence, but now. "In regards to what's going on in here," asked Em. "Well, there was something I was wondering," I said. "Eli, was there enough of the two serums to duplicate to inoculate the rest of the camp?" "Oh, Doc, I thought you knew," he said. "I had to use the remainder of both to save you. And, let me guess, my blood can't be used as it treats any foreign substance as an antibody and attempts to eradicate or absorb it." "It's amazing how your mind works now, Doc," said Eli. "How is it that you know these things without supplementary analysis?" "Lucky guess. What about Tank?" I asked. "Can we use his blood to create a vaccine?" "That's what I've been attempting with no results," said Eli. "I can't duplicate the formula I derived before in conjunction with the formula you created. Each time, it is failure after failure. I only had a small sample of your blood after the dosage, but it has since mutated as well." I breathed in deeply with a look of disappointment etched on my face. Again, I shook my head in disbelief. This can't be happening. "Eli, can I have a moment alone with my family?" I asked softly. I looked at each of them, and my heart broke. I know this was selfishness on my part, but I loved them all. "I have news," I said. I reached out my oversized hand, palm up, to allow Em to place her hand in mine. I looked at them each as a tear built in my eye. "What is it, honey?" asked Em. "Have you all ever heard the saying, 'We begin to die the moment we are born'?" I asked. T and M looked at each other and shook their heads. "Yes, you taught me that our cells are in a constant state of decay. Healthy cells replace the dead ones. It's called mitosis," said Joshua. I grinned ear to ear. "You are correct," I said. "Is there anything that you can't learn?" "Well, my cells no longer die. They are self-sustaining." "What? What does that mean, bro?" asked T. "It means he can't die. said Joshua as he gleefully looked me in the eye. Get the fuck out of here with that, laughed T. I looked him in the eye like I had so many times before to let him know I was serious. It also means I no longer need to eat, sleep, drink, or even breathe to survive, I said as I slashed my forearm with the nano-tipped scalpel and the tissue began to heal. How much more of a badass does that make you then? Asked T as he slapped me on the back. Again, I smiled. Only T had that way of making me realize that things are never as dark as I perceive them. It made me realize how much more I needed my best friend, my brother. So you mean you won't die? Ever? Asked Em. Nor will I age beyond what you see in front of you, I said. T, Joshua, could you excuse me and Marvin, please? Said Em softly and sweetly. The two patted my back and shoulders as they left. I looked at Em, and she was understandably taken aback. She had a really pensive look on her face. She paced a little. I know this is a lot to take in. What are you thinking, babe? I asked. She turned away from me and remained silent. I stood and walked up behind her and ever so gently put my arms around her waist. At that moment, I realized that Em had a very distinct scent. It was pleasant, like honeysuckle and jasmine, but it was slowly changing to one I couldn't quite place. She slowly turned to face me with both of her arms hugging herself. Do you know how much I love you, Marvin? She asked. I just stood there, dumbfounded. A tear rolled down her cheek. I don't claim to be as smart as you and Eli or even Joshua, she said. She squeezed herself a little tighter as she looked up at me with those stunning eyes. I heard what Eli said about how your cells would attack other cells as antibodies, she said. Does that mean you're poison? No, dear. It just means I won't be giving any blood transfusions is all, I said in a reassuring tone. I could now smell the perspiration on Em and the hormonal change that was occurring. Was she experiencing her cycle? So, in layman's terms, what would happen if someone were to receive a transfusion from you? She asked. Well, right now, my blood is in a state of flux, I said. As a result, my body is changing from day to day. It could be a benevolent mutation, but at this juncture, it would more than likely be catastrophic. Again, my senses denoted a change in her physiology. So, what you're saying is depending on when a person received the transfusion is just as important as if they received it? She asked. Yes, something like that. Why are you so concerned with blood transfusions all of a sudden? I asked nervously. Well, remember the day you woke up and Eli released you to me? She asked. What was that buzzing sound? It is so faint, like it is there, but it wasn't. We celebrated your survival and our reuniting, she said. Or more accurately, I celebrated on you, as you were afraid you'd hurt me. You're so much stronger now than you were then. The buzzing was more audible now, and I could tell that it was slowing. I think I was still in a state of mutation then, honey, I said. I mean, after all, it was technically still our honeymoon when all of that went down with Cyrus and Cisco, she said. The buzzing had slowed to a speeding thumping pattern. I know what it means that you will outlive everyone you love, and that sucks, she said. I mean, who wants to live forever alone? Thump, 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 thump in rapid succession. If I concentrate, I can hear it. Where is that coming from? I didn't want to say anything until I was sure, she said. So I had the twins find me what I needed to be sure. I zeroed in on the sound. It was coming from, I'm you're pregnant, we said simultaneously.